Well, I talked about that filter that went bad on that string trimmer, so I'll try to go into it a little bit because I think people really don't even realize there's a filter in a lot of that stuff. But I had to go to town to get more of the string for the trimmer because I've been running her steady. I got plenty of weeds and that thing works really well. Okay, when I was in town, I picked up a new spark plug for my 372. And I was just going to show you, this is the one that's coming out of there. And it's been in there a long time. But you can see that's a nice tan color, a light tan. That's really what you want to see in a spark plug. Yeah, you don't want them to be, well, you don't want them to be black, or you got to be really rich. And you really don't want them to be white. If they're white like this when they come out of there after being in there a while, if that insulator is white, you're running way too lean. That's just something to keep in mind on. And I was going to show you these filters for the fuel tank. The easiest way to get them out of there, these things usually just pull out of there, is a bent piece of wire. And if you poke around down there, and you don't want a sharp piece of wire, you want kind of a round end on it. Okay, this is the filter. This is what all the new ones look like. Well, they'll be whiter than that when they're new, but this is kind of yellowish. Now, what it is, it's like compressed plastic beads, and that's what does the filtering. These are kind of a bugger. There's a piece of ceramic inside that gives them some weight, so because they got to be able to move around here. These tanks got a lot of nooks and crannies, and so when you tip the saw, they got to be able to move. So they've got a ceramic weight in there. And like I say, these you can commonly get them for under $1. If you buy 10 at a time, it's going to cost you anywhere from $5 to $10. They're not expensive, so it is something to replace. Now, I do prefer the old ones that they used to use, the Husqvarna used to use. This is out of my 51. These are metal, plastic cap on the end, and then it's a felt. And you can pop that thing apart, pull the felt out, and dry the felt out, because water can screw these up in a hurry, even just a couple of drops of water, and you'll never get them out of these. If you get water in these, they are done. But that's where that other one, what it was alcohol in the fuel. The guy had used some ethanol, I'm sure, in that trimmer, because it was just, really crudded up on the outside. And that thing didn't have that many hours on it. I do like these though, because a lot of times if you're out in the field, you can pull one of these out, pull that felt out, hit it with WD-40 and kind of wring it out, and you can get the water out of them. So they're kind of, I don't, like I said, this has been in the 51 since the 51 was new. I just keep cleaning it. These, there's really no cleaning. You can try, but it never really works. Now, a lot of times out in the field, like I say, I use, generally I have this within the toolbox, a bent piece of wire. But there's many times I've had to use a stick. Just take a stick where there's a fork off, cut the end off. You can get in there and hook them out of there with that. I've done that a lot of times when I can't find a wire. But these are a replacement item. Like I say, you really should replace them at least once a year. It just makes a difference on the starting. And any change in anything like that, even your air filter, changes your carburetor settings. Not intentionally, but it changes them. So it's something to keep an eye on. I'd swear there's money to be made in buying things like that. Like the other day I was in a town and they had their cleanup day. Well, the streets are piled with lawnmowers, and not that old lawnmowers either, you know, and stuff like that. Any of the small engine appliances, you know, they throw them out. You know, when you talk about recycling, you should be buying stuff that doesn't need to be recycled. It can be rebuilt. You know, but the world is just that way. You know, in the small engine stuff, I think a guy could make a living picking up that old stuff, buying it at rummage sales and auction sales. You can buy a whole pile of stuff like that that doesn't work. Buy it cheap, fix it up, and sell it at a reasonable price. You'd make a lot of people happy, and you'd make a little money at it. You know, it could be done. I wouldn't do it only because I don't like dealing with people, and if you're going to have customers, you got to deal with people. But I would like to see more of that done. You know, even a lot of times you'll see like chainsaws and stuff will end up in thrift stores. Well, they're not working, so you really don't want to just buy them unless you have some idea what you're dealing with. But that's the story on the fuel filters. Replace them before you need to replace them. Unless you get one of these nice old ones that they don't need to be replaced, they can just be rebuilt.